Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Colts found themselves in another pickle again. So, after we lose to the Los Angeles Rams, we also lose our quarterback in Carson Wentz, who's had himself a very solid 2 games. Now, of course, you have those people. Oh, he holds on to the football too long. Yada, 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 yada. It's his fault. The offensive line stinks. All this. But in general, I think the Colts, in general, as a team, they started to kick it up a stride against the Rams. It was just a little too late. Plus, we're still unhealthy. We're still not healthy. We don't have our star corner in Xavier Rhodes, so it's forcing other people to play certain spots, which is going to be a lackluster. Our linebackers haven't shown up yet, in my opinion. Darius Leonard had a few good plays, but overall perception is just not there yet. And of course, Darius Leonard's hurt, if you guys don't know, or he's recovering from an ankle injury, something like that, of that nature. Offensive line is dismal. Left tackle isn't there. Eric Fisher did solid when he was on the field, but Davenport, Jesus Christ. Matt Pryor at right tackle is just a whole nother story. Braden Smith, he's hurt. We got Mark Lanowski, he's out there. Ryan Kelly hasn't been showing up so far. Quentin Nelson's probably the only standout at left guard because he did a pretty good job against Aaron Donald. He held his own. The running back position hasn't shown up yet. Jonathan Taylor hasn't really hit his stride yet. It's still taking him a while to adjust. Marlon Mack, he's shown up a little bit. He's shown flashes, but we didn't use him as we supposed to. Naheem Hines is not being used as he's supposed to. I feel like he's a good guy to be used in multiple schemes. We all predicted this before he got paid, but going into the season, we haven't used him really. Michael Pittman Jr. has been a standout. Pascal's been very solid. The tight ends, Jack Doyle's been solid. Marley Cox really hasn't hit that nick yet, but he hasn't really been used like that either. There's plays there for him. He was open a few times, just didn't get there. Secondary, the safeties, Corey Willis on and off. Julian Blackman on and off. So it's been rough. It's been rough. Special teams probably been the only thing that's been consistent for the Colts. When you look at Carson Wentz going down, you leave yourselves with Jacob Eason. Jacob Eason could have thrown 2 interceptions if it was possible, but he thrown one to the guy that he shouldn't have thrown to, which was Jalen Ramsey, and it wound up losing the game. But he's trying to make a big play with no time left, so I totally understand that. But both of those plays could have been picked off. But it's been rough. So we're trying to figure out this quarterback situation. Should we just stick with Wentz? But let's check the free agency market before we go ahead. Not Wentz. Should we stick with Eason? But let's check the free agency market before we go ahead and move on to that topic. We don't have Sam Ehlinger because he's hurt, so you can go ahead and throw that out the window. I know there's going to be, if Sam Ehlinger was available, he should be starting over Eason. Yada, yada, yada. But, we're not here for that. So Deshaun Watson, throw that out the window. We're not going to be able to get him. We know what that's going on. Phillip Rivers, happy retirement. He's enjoying life. He's a good head coach. Let him live. He's retired. Him coming back to his offensive line that's not appearing and no mobility is not going to make the situation better. So just move on from that conversation. Don't even bring up number 12 because you're just crazy if you still think he's going to come back and he doesn't have an offensive line, so it's pretty much going to be the same situation. But the available free agents, Cole McDonald from the Arizona Cardinals. No clue. Matt Schaub's retired. This was 2 days ago from the website, which is pretty much a free agency tracker. Kenji Bahar from Baltimore. Robert Griffin III from Baltimore. Tyler Bray from Chicago. Eric Dungy from Cincinnati. Jordan Tamu from Detroit. Kevin Hogan from Cincinnati. Blake Bortles. We all are familiar with that guy. Green Bay. Jacob Dogala. Jacob Dogala from Green Bay. I don't even think Blake Bortles was on the roster anymore. Ryan Finley from Houston. Jalen Morton. That was a guy we almost gave a chance. Anthony Gordon from Kansas City. Matt Moore from Kansas City. That is a veteran, by the way, if you guys don't know. KJ Costello from the Chargers. Delvin Hodges from the Rams, I believe. Let's see. Case Kukas from the Raiders. Kyle Slaughter from the Raiders. Jake Rudock from the Dolphins, Kyle Ostley from the Dolphins, Danny Etling from Minnesota, Cam Newton is a free agent. I know there's a few Cam Newton fans that's going to say something. Let's see, Clayton Thorson from the Giants, Joe Webb from the Giants, he's a veteran, Jamie Newman from Philadelphia, Alex McGaw from Seattle, Drew Stanton from Tampa Bay, we all know who that is, he's a vet, Deshaun Kaiser from Tennessee, and Alex Smith, who was retired, who was pretty much the last resort. So those are the QBs that are available if we were going to make any move in free agency to go get someone. But I don't think Indianapolis is going to go out there and spend money on a guy who we pretty much was not going to make a difference. Like in my opinion, Brent Huntley, or Jacob Eason, it's pretty much going to be the same situation no matter what quarterback you plug into the system. If the offensive line is not there yet, you're pretty much going to be stuck in the same situation. You're pretty much betting on yourself of who's going to be worse at this point, because we're not sold on Jacob Eason. I'm not sold anymore. And going into next week when we play the Titans, which is a must win pretty much, we're going to have to wake up and figure something out. Carson Wentz, timetable, we don't know. 2 ankle sprains. I mean, can he still move? Can he throw the football at least at this point? Because if he can throw the football, I'm solid. But with the offensive line disappearing, I wouldn't want to risk it. So Jacob Eason, I think we're going to have to just throw him out there in the fire for these few games until Wentz gets healthy. This injury wasn't on Wentz at all. He just did not have the protection. So, yeah, it was pretty ugly watching Wentz get dismantled by Aaron Donald or Leonard Floyd. Whoever wasn't matched up against Big Q, that's when they were winning that battle, in my opinion. So, yeah, watching that happen with transpire, I pretty much was waiting on that moment. Because as a fan, watching that game with the offensive line playing the way it played, you just knew Carson Wentz was going to get beat up. You just knew it. And it happened at the wrong time. And now Carson Wentz got hurt against this team before. When he was in Philly, he got hurt against the Rams because no protection. So it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate events. Hopefully he'll bounce back and become healthy. Like I said, he did a solid job before he went down. So hopefully Easton can figure it out. We did throw him in the fire in the 2-minute warning drill against a pretty much hungry defense. So I wasn't really shocked about the way it transpired. Rookie mistake throwing it to Jalen Ramsey, who was pretty much probably the best corner in the NFL. You can debate with yourself. Don't debate with me. So hopefully the Colts can figure it out. You guys let me know in the comment section. Do you trust Easton? Who should we go after? Should we go get somebody else? But let me know all these things in the comment section. Follow the links in the description. This is Marcus, and until next time, you've been Culture Shock.